Hello and welcome back to CIPD Bitesize with me, Dan, and today we are going to be looking at the Unit 3002 with AC 1.1. This unit in particular is looking at principles of analytics, and this unit is going to be great if you are one of those who is good with data or looking for a HR analyst type role. If not, however, do not fret. We will break this down nice and easy for you in order to still achieve a nice pass. So just for reference as well, this is relating to the CIPD unit, which was released in June 2025, which will expire in June 2026. A little bit more about this unit, though. It looks at how people professionals make straightforward and complex choices as they perform their roles. It focuses on how utilizing a diverse range of analytics and evidence is essential to the rationalism and enhancement of working practices and situational decision making to create some value. Okay, so with all of our questions that we will be going through, you will be receiving a score 1 to 4. 4 being the best, 1 being unfortunately a fail on this instance. Following the CIPD bite size, we aim for you to come to a 3. However, if you wish, please do pause this video now and have a read through the descriptors. I will only be covering the pass descriptor at the moment. So this pass descriptor in total is looking for you to demonstrate some good value level knowledge of the AC itself or the question. We want you to incorporate a scenario if that's possible. If not, some real world examples, models, references, anything you can to just enhance your answer. Ensure as well that you are answering all the question in your response and it is well expressed in that respect. Also having a clear structure in place so that it is readable for the marker as well. Okay, as we said, AC 1.1 is what we're going to be looking at today. So we're going to take a deep dive in. Let's start off with the case study. So we had the situation that you are aware of that we'll be working through this module. You have applied for the post of People Analytics Administrator at Company X, who are the leading provider of HR solutions to business in your region. Company X offers a diverse range of people management and business services to meet the needs of its customers and are now looking for a people analytics administrator, as currently there is limited experience of data management on the team. So the successful applicant will be accountable for managing analysis of data, ensuring that Company X makes informed data-driven decisions for its clients. You have received an assessment pack to complete for the first stage of the selection process. The pack contains 8 questions, which have been designed so that you can demonstrate your knowledge and understanding of how people professionals can use data and analytics to support decision making and improve people practices. Great. So what's the question? AC 1.1 is explain what evidence-based practice is and provide 2 examples of how Company X could apply it. So the verbiage here is explain. So we want you to explain. So what are we explaining? Evidence-based practice. EBP is maybe what it is referred to in some articles too, but it would be evidence-based practice. And then action point 2, we want you to explain 2 examples or provide 2 examples of how our company in our scenario could apply evidence-based practice. There's so many different ways of how you could do this, and I wouldn't want to send you down a garden path. So let's just crack on as we mean to go on. Let's start off with some recommended reading for you. So we always say CIPD is an amazing place to start, and that's because you're doing a CIPD accredited course. So first of all, there's a CIPD fact sheet called Evidence-Based Practice for Effective Decision Making. This sounds like it's bang on the money for our question here. And if you take a look into this document, it tells you a little bit more about EBP and how it can be used for decision making, which will give you potential examples of how to apply it, which is why we didn't cover any before in the slide above. And then we have a CIPD podcast. So if you had enough of reading, do not fret. There are other avenues that you can look down, and CIPD does have a podcast called Evidence-Based Practice for HR. And that will give you a great highlight, auditory highlights as well, of you listening to professionals talking about evidence-based practice itself. And then we also have AIHR, which is a Dutch equivalent of CIPD, and they have an article of what is evidence-based practice, giving examples, benefits, and decision-making steps. Granted that the question is asking you what evidence-based practice is, this will be a great place to start, and how this applies to the world of HR, and then having 2 examples of how it could be applied as well, giving the benefits and the examples that will be pulled out from this. Okay, story time. So with the bite size, we like to give a story at the end, just a fictitious scenario, just to add a little bit of flavor and a little bit of fun. You probably can't work out what this is from this story or this image, but this is the curious case of llama latte. And this is evidence-based practice in action. So let's crack on. Our lady here on the left is Maya, and she's an adventurous entrepreneur. She opened a whimsical coffee shop called Llama Latte. While customers enjoyed cappuccinos alongside real gentle llamas, business was going well. But Maya wanted to grow the cafe substantially, not just based on a gut feeling or copying other businesses, but through actual smart decisions. One day, while attending a local business seminar, she heard about evidence-based practice, or EBP. The speaker explained it simply. Evidence-based practice is making decisions based on a combination of the best available evidence, expert judgment, and customer needs, not assumptions. Maya was intrigued by this. She realized she'd been making changes to the cafe mostly on instinct. Determined to do better, she began applying EBP to her business. So, example 1 here, she was improving weekday sales. And how does she do this? Well, Maya noticed that weekdays were usually quite quiet. Her first instinct was to open random promotions and offer them out. But instead, she collected the evidence. She analyzed point of sale data to see when people were buying. She ran a quick customer survey asking regulars why they don't visit on weekdays. She read research on co-working trends and coffee shop habits. The evidence showed that many potential customers work remotely, but need good Wi-Fi, outlets, and a peaceful place. So Maya launched Work with a Llama Wednesdays, a promotion that offered remote workers a quiet space, reliable Wi-Fi, charging stations, and free coffee refills. She monitored sales before and after. A weekday revenue grew by 40%. An amazing example there. Another example 2, is boosting snack sales with music. So we have the musical symbols that are in the image, and this is how it ties in here. So one of her baristas swore that classical music made people buy more snacks. Maya was skeptical, as should be, but was curious. She used evidence-based approach yet again with this. So for 2 weeks, she alternated music genres each day: classic, pop, jazz, and silence. She tracked snack sales during each type of music being played. She compared the results and found that only on classical music days, the snack sales were 15% higher. With evidence, she created a new playlist, Mozart and Muffins. So, all in all, through evidence-based practice, Maya learned that using real data, customer feedback, and testing approaches led to better decisions and happier humans and llamas alike. The moral of the story is, whether you're running a quirky coffee shop or a corporate office, Evidence-based practice helps you avoid guesswork and make smarter strategic choices. So what I would say you should take from this is think about what Maya did in this situation. And she used a strategic process, essentially evidence-based process, to implement some changes, and they worked out for the best because she wasn't hesitating. She wasn't making things at a limb. She was trying to gather the evidence and let the evidence do the talking. So that's how we would like you to apply this response for this question for yourself. But that's all we have time for today on CIPD Bitesize with AC 1.1. My name's Dan, and thank you and good luck on your question.